Hello, my name is Kelly Richardson. I'm the superintendent of the Lowell Police Department. I've been with the Lowell Police Department for over 30 years. I was sworn in as your superintendent in August of 2018, and the Lowell PD is very fortunate to have hardworking, dedicated members, many of which were born and raised in this city. One of my priorities is to strengthen Lowell Police Department's ties to the community and educate community members that might not be able to attend community meetings about all the different facets within the organization. I would also like to highlight and share the positive stories and relationships between the LPD and this very diverse community that we serve that really make it into the media. We will also use this platform to inform the community of all the services provided by the LPD and how to navigate through the process of contacting those services. The LPD is very lucky to have a good partner like LTC to help us carry out this message, and we thank them for their partnership. I hope you enjoy keeping up with the cops.
Hello, and welcome to Keeping Up with the Cops. I am Lieutenant David Peaslee, and I've been with the Lowell Police Department for almost 23 years. We've put a lot of focus into community policing, and this show is another outreach tool that the LPD will be utilizing to build relationships with the community we serve. On this inaugural episode of Keeping Up with the Cops, we'd like to focus in on our community policing efforts, starting off with the ribbon-cutting ceremony at our new precinct located at 50 Central Street in downtown Lowell.
Well, I'm really pleased that the city manager and the chief of police worked with Eastern Bank to establish this precinct. I'll tell you one thing, what we've learned from our neighborhood substations, they've been well accepted in all neighborhoods for the simple reason it's established better communication between the citizens of the city or the people in the various neighborhoods and the police.
Having the police here, visible, active, is going to be a big benefit for not just this end, but the entire downtown. But I think in particular here, bringing some vitality right here, where the police aren't just driving by, but they are actually living here. That's going to matter.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. I want to welcome everybody to the opening of a new police substation in downtown Lowell. I was told I got to use my loud voice because this is a microphone for the television, not for the audience. So bear with me. But you know what? When I looked at coming to today's session, I looked at, okay, is this just another location for the police department to have another substation in our city of Lowell? And I just put down a couple of thoughts, but before I do that, I'd like to, because I forgot, I have to introduce some of my fellow councilors. First of all, Vice Mayor Vesna Noon. Vesna, where are you? There you are. Handsomely dressed, okay. Councilor Dave Conway. Councilor John Leahy. Chief Winwood is here. And we have the Chief Rasha from the university. So again, welcome to today's opening. And first of all, I want to commend the city manager, Eileen Donahue, and Chief Kelly Richardson for working together with Eastern Bank to open up this substation. It's very important. What I feel is this allows for better interaction between our community and the police. That's what it's all about. Working together to make people feel safe and comfortable in our downtown. That's what we want. You know what? There are always problems in the city. That's just the nature of the city, that we deal with multiple issues. But when a community works together, we can create a positive climate in this city. And that's what we've done. That's what Chief Richardson and his officers have done with community policing, creating a safe environment, an environment that allows for communication between the citizens and the police. When you work together for the common good, and that's what they're doing, it's working together for the common good, what I thought about, especially watching the news, this is something you don't find in every community. You just don't find what you saw, well, I guess in New York, where there was water thrown on policemen and things like that, the lack of respect. But I think the citizens of Lowell know one thing. Working together with our police, we can truly make Lowell a safer place, a better place, because Lowell is a safer place and a better place. But it's about communication. It's about talking. It's about working together now, not if a problem appears, because that's what often happens in many communities. There's a major problem, and then they have meetings, and they talk about how they're going to make life better between, well, say, the police and the citizens. But we have a natural program going on here with community policing. We believe in it, we support it, and Chief Richardson, thank you for the job your men are doing. We appreciate that. I could go on and on, but the thing is, it's not about me, it's not about any one of us, it's about this substation, and it's about the cooperation between private enterprise, Eastern Bank, and the city of Lowell. So I just want to wish Chief Richardson and his men good fortune, and I believe that this substation will enhance the downtown, and it will make people feel, it's just the idea of the presence of police, the presence of support, the presence of people interested in making people feel safe and safe. It just works. So thank you for what you've done, and again, thank you, City Manager Donahue, and thank you, Chief Richardson. I'd now like to introduce District Attorney Marion Ryan to say a few words. Marion?
Good morning, and thank you. I'm very happy to be here this morning for this opening, this groundbreaking. And, you know, life moves very fast. And one of the things that's important, especially on days like this, and I thought about it as I parked my car and walked here as we get ready for the Folk Festival, is about the amazing changes that have happened in downtown Lowell. And that's a credit to the mayor, to the city manager, to the police department, who really have done the hard work of getting us to today. And what is remarkable about the opening of this substation is we are not opening it because there are so many problems and we need to put people on the ground here. We are opening it because here in Lowell, the nature of policing is different. There is no place in this county where our relationships are stronger with our police department, with our fire department, and more importantly, no place where those strong bonds and relationships have more changed people's lives. When you look at the progress we've made here in the city, both in terms of safety, just look at the vibrancy of what's happening here, what will happen here this weekend, the people who will come here and enjoy this city. You look at the progress we have made on a problem which continues to stymie our state and our country, the opioid epidemic. You look at the progress we've made on quality of life crimes that have really allowed people to be out and about and enjoying the city. And that doesn't just happen. It's a testament to the work that you have, of the people you have chosen to lead you, and particularly of those you've chosen to be part of our public safety mission. So I'm delighted to be here. I think we should not lose sight of what this really means for the city and for the people of Lowell this morning. And I'm happy to introduce the person who will be in charge of this new substation, as well as the whole department, my good friend and partner, Superintendent Kelly Richardson.
Thank you.
Well, good morning, everyone. I'd like to start off with making a prediction that this bank will not be robbed within the next hour and a half. I think anyone that comes to the door right now will be turning around and going somewhere else, which is good for us, hopefully another city. But I'd also like to thank my boss, City Manager Eileen Donahue. This conversation happened on Hurd Street a couple of months back where we were looking at the Lowell District Court as potentially being a site of a new police station. And we realized that obviously with things that are going on in the city, very positive things that are going on in the city, that could be, if it ever does happen, a long time down the road. But we collectively talked about how important downtown Lowell is, how important the people that live here, how important the people who have businesses down here are to us, and we've committed to downtown. But I thought that we needed, and collectively we needed to be downtown more visibility, more interaction with the public. So the goal is here is to get the offices right in downtown, so when people drive into the city, and I'd really like to thank Eastern Bank. I mean, we could not have a better location than this. People coming into this city to enjoy the folk festival, whatever, they're going to ride by this building and say, okay, the police are here, that's a good feeling. And we want to be visible, we want to be approachable, and that's what I know we're going to be doing down here. We've already received a lot of compliments. We've implemented people in strategic locations during different times of the day, and it's been very, very positive. And I owe the credit to Captain Tom Kennedy and my two deputies, Dan LaRocque and Barry Goldner, who have led the charge on this deployment of officers in the downtown area. So I'm very fortunate to have the people that I have that work for me. Many of them who are not here, like the 220 others that aren't here. They do a tremendous job. When we talk about partnerships, our district attorney talked about that. It really is a true partnership, but it really comes down to the people that are on the street every day. I get positive feedback, and I'm very proud to be the chief. Positive feedback on how our officers interact with people in the city. And I appreciate the opportunity to be downtown with Eastern Bank, and I appreciate all the help, and thank you very much. And next, I'd like to introduce Barbara Heineman, Head of Consumer Banking from Eastern Bank. Bob?
Thank you, Superintendent Richardson, and good morning, everyone. To Mayor Samaras, to City Manager Donahue, to all of our city councilors that are present today, our community partners, and to our Eastern Bank board members, Michael Gallagher, to Jim O'Donnell and Steve Jonkis. I want to thank you all for being here, and I welcome you all and say good morning. On behalf of Eastern Bank, my colleagues here today, Ruth Bitchell, Doc Doherty, to the entire Lowell branch team that works here, and really on behalf of everyone at Eastern Bank, we are thrilled to be a part of this important community partnership and to offer you a very warm welcome to your new downtown precinct. I would be remiss if I didn't say welcome to the neighborhood to all of you. This commitment by the city and by the police department to invest in downtown Lowell is an important element in strengthening our community. It's an especially important element in terms of in supporting really what is the continuing revitalization of downtown Lowell, and we thank you so much for making this happen. Your stronger presence here will strengthen opportunities for businesses and for people that consider this downtown area their home. Eastern Bank is very proud to be a part of this community. We're thrilled to be a part of this partnership, and we look forward to working collaboratively with you and with this community going forward. And so thank you so much. We look forward to this, and I now have the honor of introducing City Manager Eileen Donahue.
Thank you. Oh, you do tend to think this is going to help you be heard, but anyway, good morning, everyone. Thank you very much, and it really is a thrill to be here this morning. So many things have been said about partnerships, and I think that is the core here of what's going on. We've always talked about public-private partnerships here in the city of Lowell, and we are blessed because we have public, private, and the list goes on. I want to recognize the community college and President Mayberry, who's here, and you and your students who make up the heart of the downtown, the university, of course, and students here, the National Park, and Celeste. This is a very busy weekend for you. Thank you for stopping by. She's throwing a party, just in case you. But, and all your visitors who come here, and really and truly, community policing that Chief Richardson talked about. You hear the words, and sometimes you think you know what it means, but really, until you see it in action and see it really working with the community, with the businesses, with the visitors, with the students, you don't fully appreciate the impact of a true community policing. And I think what we are blessed here in the city of Lowell to have, Superintendent Richardson and his command staff and all of the men and women of the Lowell Police Department have committed to community policing. And let's face it, that is the cornerstone. Public safety whether it's the police, fire, it is the cornerstone of everything we're trying to do here in the city of Lowell. Without it, we won't be successful on initiatives for economic development, to grow jobs, to improve the quality of life, to help the education of all of our kids from kindergarten or pre-K all the way through college. Community policing and public safety is at the core and at the heart. And so for that, we are very, very lucky and very, very grateful to have this step. This is going to be a very important step, as the chief has said, for having people not only see police, but feel the partnership with the police and have the appreciation for the safety that is here in the city of Lowell. But it is important that the perception also follow up on what we know to be the wonderful qualities and assets that we have in the city. So I couldn't be happier for this. When Eastern Bank, Doc Doherty and your team, everybody, Barbara, thank you for what you've done. When we all walked in here on a cold day, and I forget what month it was, Chief, and we looked and we said, there's going to be a precinct here? It didn't look like this. It was open space, but people were very creative and made this happen. And as you know, there's going to be full staff and complement of police here, including offices upstairs. So couldn't be happier. Congratulations. One last thing. I want to also commend the police department. They've been doing a terrific job. We get superstitious about saying or bragging about how well things are going because you don't know if tomorrow something will happen, right, Madam District Attorney? On the other hand, I can tell you, I think the work that's been done by the police department has been outstanding. We can't get into too much detail, but there have been ongoing investigations that have made a huge difference here in the city of Lowell. So congratulations, Chief, with your leadership. Thank you very much.
Yep, so the manager and the mayor and some of the councilors, we're going to cut the ribbon. I think we could. My first ribbon cutting. So.
All right, do we have a countdown? Somebody want to count first? Three? Who can do it? I need somebody to count down. Pat? Three. All right.
The new precinct is part of our larger effort to make the LPD more accessible to residents and to build face-to-face relationships with the community that we serve.
We want to be visible, we want to be approachable, and that's what I know we're going to be doing down here. We've already received a lot of compliments. We've implemented people in strategic locations during different times of the day, and it's been very, very positive. And I owe the credit to Captain Tom Kennedy and my two deputies, Dan LaRocque and Barry Goldner, who have led the charge on this deployment of officers in the downtown area.
We are opening it because here in Lowell, the nature of policing is different. There is no place in this county where our relationships are stronger with our police department, with our fire department, and more importantly, no place where those strong bonds and relationships have more changed people's lives.
Oh, well, I'm really pleased that the city manager and the chief of police worked with Eastern Bank to establish this precinct. I'll tell you one thing, what we've learned from our neighborhood substations, they've been well accepted in all neighborhoods for the simple reason it's established better communication between the citizens of the city or the people in the various neighborhoods and the police. It's a positive relationship. And now when we have the neighborhood meetings and the police come to make the reports as to car break-ins, home and robberies in the house, but what they've done to solve the problem. There's a far better relationship in the neighborhoods now with the police. There's a connection with the Lowell Police Department. And we've needed this in the downtown because the downtown, people will talk about, is it safe to be in downtown? Of course it is. But as I said in my opening remarks, when people people have to understand cities have certain type of problems. They deal with certain type of issues. We're not a country area, a small town where everybody knows everybody.
Community policing, as I have said many times, it really is the cornerstone of everything we're trying to do. Public safety, it contributes to the quality of life. It's really central to the quality of life for everybody who lives here in the city, who works here in the city. And I don't think we can, underestimate the impact of it. And so to have a true community policing commitment and presence makes all the difference in the world. Just lip service or words just don't cut it. And what we've seen with the chief and his administration is that there is a real commitment to this. I hear it all the time from the neighborhoods, from people who live here, that they have really appreciated the interaction and the presence of the police right out in the streets where they are and where they live. So I think it's a win-win for everybody. And I also think it benefits our police department, who work very hard, and they get the support of the community. They have their backs, and I think that's important. That's not true in every community across the country, but I think we take great pride in how much the community appreciates the police, and now that they're getting to know them even better, that's a great thing.
Now, when you talk about community policing, I mean, it first started with Ed Davis. We've always had it, but the thing is, the city manager now and the present police chief are really going back to what originally was started regarding community policing. And it's a real program. And when I say by a real program, community policing really is about the police and the community working together. I did cite when I was in the introduction that there are communities all over the country where they have major problems. And the major problems are caused because there's a breakdown in communication between the police and the citizens of the community. So if something happens, people get angry and they try to solve the problem then. This is not what we're doing. This is a positive, this is a proactive, not a reactive step that we're doing down here. So this, it's just a sign that, the people who are assigned to protect you are out there, they're close to you, you now will have the ability to simply walk into this precinct to say, I have an issue. I'm a business person. I feel because after certain hours, certain things change. What can you do to help us? So the police get more information, the citizens get more information, but we work together. That's what community policing is about, working together.
There are a lot of areas in the city that are hard to get to. In this next segment, we're going to take a look at some of the tools that the LPD is using to get to those areas, specifically the department's new Utility Task Vehicle, or UTV for short.
Got this, so this is probably my third time driving it actually, personally. The other officers that are working this area have been driving it more. They're more in the downtown area and working this side, so on my side, I'm on the other side, so if I do use it, it's going to be for like the homeless encampments and stuff like that to get in there. It's just another tool. I wouldn't say, because we're doing so much right now. We have people on bicycles, motorcycles, the cruisers, walking routes. We're pretty much out there, so it's just another way to get out there even more and more visible. But as we're going to go to the Riverwalk Way, some of these places you just can't take the cruisers through. So this is just better than pedaling on a bike through some of these areas. Besides, 4 people can fit in here. This is great. See, I haven't gone through this way, so let's see how we can get through this way. See, I can't. As you're going to see, I wouldn't be able to do some of the stuff in the cruiser. I do like the fact that we do have a bed. I mean, Lord forbid we need it, but I mean, you don't know, cyclists, a little accident, whatever, can't get the cruiser out. I'd rather put it in the back than carry it, a good 100 yards somewhere. And all the festivals we have, when they come, we blocked off a lot of streets on Merrimack and Market and Palmer. The cruisers really can't get in there at all when they do that. Like if I have to go the roundabout way. So on this, and we have a golf cart that's pretty cool too. But to maneuver around there, like to kind of, I don't know how they were doing it before. Well, actually, I do know, the long way. I do the river walk on the other side of the city, in the rear of 576 Lawrence Street. It's actually a nice area, but sometimes we get some funky calls out there. I think it works well in the parks too, like the South Common. You can just go right up the hill.
Our final segment today takes a look at an annual vigil focusing on domestic violence awareness and prevention. And we talk with Kristen Williams from the LPD's Family Services Department.
I want to first thank each and every one of you for joining us here tonight at City Hall as we recognize Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and that we remember those who have lost their lives due to domestic violence. And further, that we recommit ourselves to doing all that we can to eliminate this devastating form of violence in our community.
So Family Services, we cover any child abuse cases, domestic violence cases, anything with elder abuse. My primary role is to look into the reports, any domestic violence cases, reach out to the listed victim, offer them any services, or see if they have any questions or how we can, further help them. So my position is more of kind of being the middle person between the police department and the officers and the victims, kind of a liaison between them, seeing, what the detectives need from a victim for follow-up, and also what the victims need from the police department, and trying to get everybody in contact and make sure that victims get whatever services they need, whether it be a restraining order, safe housing, any connections that we can make for them. We don't care about your immigration status or anything like that. We are, we just want to make sure that everyone in the community is safe.
As we look at the numbers and see that there have been 21 domestic violence-related homicides in Massachusetts so far this year alone, it is clear that the kind of violence is far too often rattling the security that people should have in their own homes. And so awareness is a major part of the equation, and stepping up in the way that you all are doing here tonight is perhaps the best way that we can honor those who have lost their lives to this heartbreaking crime.
June 1st, 2019, Cluseline Elves da Silva, 41 of Worcester, was stabbed to death by her former male partner in her home. Worcester police responded to a call that evening reporting a stabbing. Officers found Elves da Silva suffering from stab wounds. She was pronounced dead at the scene. Elves da Silva, who moved to the United States from Brazil 14 years ago, was identified by her son, Lucas Silva.
Something I would say to anyone who's in a scary situation or a violent situation is that they're not alone, and that there's a lot of agencies here in Lowell and around Lowell that are all working together to try to make sure that everyone feels safe and that they get whatever resources they need. And I'd hope that people, if they have suspicions of someone that they love or that they know, and they think they might be in a bad situation, to reach out to them and just look out for each other as best as we can, and that we're here if they have questions or if they're not sure, if they really want to go forward with charges. We also have close connections with different agencies within Lowell. Whatever anyone needs, if they feel like they need something, just to reach out, that we're here. We can, if it's not something that I can handle or I can help them with, I have other partners that I can reach out to and make sure, we can all make sure that everyone gets whatever they need.
We'd like to thank you for tuning in to the inaugural episode of Keeping Up with the Cops. For more information on the LPD, check out our Facebook page at Lowell Police Department Official, and stay tuned for the next edition of Keeping Up with the Cops. See you then.